I'm joined by the great El Bushman and, of course, Frank Nazay's in the house with us. Gentlemen, what's going on? How are you?
What's going on?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing really well, man.
Of course, you can listen to us live on WRPR Rat Pack Sports Radio because
we
we're
are on
live.
there. Awesome.
We're also on Spreaker.com and Raw Talk Online. Sorry, I wanted to hear if the playback was going on.
No, I got you. Listen,
make sure because I know Craig was really concerned because he hasn't heard.
I don't mind listening to my voice. You know, I love the sound of my own voice, so I'm good with that one.
All right,
but
we're good to go.
Okay, we're good. So, as always, 813-699-5353 is the number to call and chime in. Gentlemen, well, Frank, I don't know why I go against you sometimes. I really don't. But congratulations. You, my friend, were one of the few people on this squad who said that the Golden State Warriors were, in fact, going to win the NBA championship.
Yes.
I said going up against the number one man in the entire NBA in LeBron James. Unfortunately, he was beat by the better team, which I did say they were. I said they were the best team. So congrats to the Golden State Warriors. They are now champions. Kevin Durant.
Boo.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either, but you know what? We got to give props where props is due.
Here's one of my biggest takeaways. Everybody, I think we got the story wrong from the standpoint of everybody's like, oh, KD is going to ride to a championship on Steph and Clay and Draymond or everything.
It was the other way around.
Golden State brought Kevin Durant in to win a champion. He drove the bus. I don't even know if they win the series without him. I mean,
a lot of people were saying that if he was not on the squad, that they would not have a chance this year.
Yeah, I mean, 5 games in the finals of 30 points or more, the first person to do it since Shaq. I mean, he showed up every game. For all the criticism and all the beatings that he took, he played. I mean, he didn't take basically one game off.
Right.
Frank, let me ask you a question. Do you think maybe it's too early to tell? Is this now maybe the transition is this KD's team now?
I heard some people saying that today, that the pecking order has been established, that KD is the man, but they need Steph Curry because everything goes through Steph. So, you know, that's going to be an interesting dynamic going into next year, but it looks like they figured it out. I mean, and that's scary for next year because they might even be better because there were some awkward games where, you know, when KD was out, then he came back in. It's like, oh, well, who gets the ball? We don't know what to do, this and that. And they didn't look as good. And people were wondering, it's like, well, are they better off without him? Let me answer that question. No. And the way that he played, I mean, look, he's already said that he's going to take less money so that they can re-sign Andre Iguodala.
Yeah,
I mean,
who, in my opinion, and man, let me just say this. That was probably next to the fact that Darren Williams, whatever his name is, he should not be playing at all. This brother, every time he got out on the court last night, I'm like, why? Why are you out there? You need to go sit down somewhere. We don't need you. You are messing up the rhythm of this team. But Andre Iguodala, every time he came off the bench, this was truly the sixth man.
Sean Livingston. I mean, Golden State's role player guys. I mean, Zaza even did.
Oh, he's terrible.
He did enough.
He's terrible.
I mean, Cleveland's guys didn't. I mean, did Tristan Thompson play at all?
I have no idea.
In any game?
He was too busy so far up one of the Kardashians' ass.
Which one is he dating, by the way? I heard people saying that.
It's Chloe. I think it's the monster, Chloe. She still looks like Godzilla. And I heard she's getting off of birth control, so now she can have little Tristan Thompson kids.
So we're blaming essentially.
I'm blaming the curse of the Kardashians on her
as why the Cavs losing.
I mean, look, there's a track record.
The proof is in the pudding.
People that they date. I mean, maybe the sex was just so good that he just can't even. I mean, can't focus, can't
function. No, I get it. Believe me, I get it.
LeBron got that man like $17 million.
Yes,
and this is how basically, if I'm LeBron, I'd be like, this is how you repay me.
Right.
I get you $17 million, and you can't. I mean,
speaking of LeBron going forward into next year, what do the Cavs need to do going into next season about going up against the Cavs again, if potentially if they go to the finals again?
Well, people are already saying that it's going to be another Cavs Warriors Part 4 now.
Yep.
Already.
Yeah, but for them to get over the hump, for them to beat this team now with KD, what did they need to get? I mean, LeBron needs to get help.
Because this didn't go to a 7th game to where you could say, hey, if we bring back this same team,
right.
we just maybe tweak one thing and we got them.
Right.
No, you weren't even in the series. So you have to reconstruct.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, because I'm looking at it right now and I'm saying to myself, who out there in the NBA could be a fit?
Paul George.
To where they could come in, have an instant impact on the Cavaliers squad.
Paul George.
But
you'd have to give up a lot, though.
You'd have to probably give up Kevin Love.
You have to give up Kevin Love and then a couple of guys on your bench.
But would Paul George even be enough?
Right.
He's a good option. I said this today, and I know it won't happen because they wouldn't do it or anything, but I pick up the phone and I call Oklahoma City, and I say, Kyrie for Russell, and I'll throw in Iman Shumpert or J.R. Smith.
But you can't get rid of Shumpert. Get rid of Smith.
Yeah, but you still need help on the bench, though.
Right.
And they're over cap anyways. So
okay.
They have to do something.
So Kyrie scores, he don't play no defense.
I understand that.
You're going to have to at least get some guys in there that can play defense to beat Golden State. You got to slow Steph down at least a little.
And somebody needs to contain Klay Thompson. This game last night, I'm watching Klay Thompson stand from the half-court line and ain't nobody around him. I'm like, this brother can pull up from 40 when he wants to, right?
Their defense was just
anemic.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And then the fact that you're letting Iguodala just blow through you. Steph is blowing over. I'm like, Steph Curry. Steph Curry is just rolling over people. I'm like, where is the defense? There was no defense last night. The minimal defense that we saw came at just inopportune times, and I'm saying to myself, what are y'all doing? Seriously, what is going on? So in answer to your question, Great Al Bushman, if you could get Paul George, you going to have to give up something.
Yep.
But bottom line, no matter who your starting five is, if you don't have the supporting bench, Cleveland will get as far as they got this year. They will get back to the finals because of LeBron, and because of Kyrie, and because Kevin Love can't step up when he not when he wants to, when it suits him. I just don't know. I just feel like Kevin Love had flashes. Kevin Love was the Kevin Love that we know and expect him to be. He played a little bit of defense, but his game was on, but it was more off than on. I don't know, even if you bring in superstars, but you need that bench.
Who, though? That's the thing. There's no KDs out there. I mean, you're not pulling Kawhi Leonard from San Antonio.
I agree.
You're not getting Russell Westbrook or any. So you got to start looking at guys like Paul George. I mean, if he's your third best player, that's not bad. I mean, Jimmy Butler with Chicago, maybe, if you can get him. It's going to be guys like that. I mean, you ain't getting a KD-like player to walk through that door because Milwaukee's not giving up Giannis, so don't even, make that call.
They've got to make some kind of decision with the cap space they don't have.
Yeah.
They have to make some sort of move. So I want to ask you guys a question. Since this super team is in place, and we can call this a super team now with the Warriors, I don't think there's any team out there that can challenge them in the West or the East. So is this bad for the NBA, or is this good for the NBA to have a super team like this that's almost creating a dynasty? Remember, the ratings were up for this series.
Yeah, this was the most watched Game 5 since '98. Jordan's last series, shall I say, with the Bulls. So, I don't know. Listen, I watched barely any of the NBA this season because I just predicted that the Cavs and Warriors were going to be there.
Yep.
Okay? And I'll even go one step further. My wife, who y'all know isn't really a huge basketball fan, you know what? She watched the finals. She got her fill, and she was like, okay, I'm good. So to the average person who is not really a sports fan, the finals is pretty much all everybody's going to watch because, like I said, everybody already expects Cleveland and Golden State to be back to the finals. So it's like, well, why are we bothering watching? Why are we going to watch the 82 games in the NBA? Why are we going to watch the postseason? Golden State lost 2 games 2 out of 17 games. No, I'm sorry.
One.
They lost one game.
They lost one playoff game.
Okay, fine. One.
In the finals.
1 out of 17 games. They played 17 games this postseason and lost 1. You know what I mean? It's like we're already giving them
next year
the Western Conference title next year and saying, we'll see you in the finals next year. And it's probably going to be against LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
The best thing you could say is, look, if Kawhi Leonard doesn't go down, San Antonio maybe wins a game.
Right.
Maybe 2 most. I mean, but that's the best that you're hoping for is that they lose 2 games. Most realistically, they probably just lose 1. They're the only ones. I mean, if San Antonio, I don't even know who they would bring in, but maybe dangle LaMarcus Aldridge out there because they didn't really get much from him in the playoffs. So maybe you got to do something. But, I mean, there's been, like, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. They won a few.
Yep.
Jordan and the Bulls won,
6.
I mean, the Celtics back in the day, I know it's way back in the 60s, but, like, 10, 11 in a row.
Yep.
I mean, that had to be kind of like, well, I wonder who's going to be in the championship this year.
Right. Have we gotten to that point, though? Because of this super team, have we gotten to that point?
Well, 2 of 3, I mean, that's good, but, I mean, I'm not, they're not Boston or anything, but, I mean, but look, just projecting forward, if those guys stay healthy, that team's back next year with those same guys, put them in the finals. I mean, I'm not picking against them.
No, neither am I. But
I don't know if it's good or not. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of intrigued by it, like just watching the way that they play and watching Kevin Durant pull up from the half-court line and just
Steph, Klay Thompson,
lobbing threes.
Iguodala just doing alley-oops all day long. I mean, Draymond just bowing over people.
They're fun to watch.
They are, but at the same time, are we watching them because we know it's going to be a blowout? Are we watching them because it's going to be an upset? Or are we watching them because, you know what, honestly, that's all that's going to be. It's going to be Golden State. What's their record going to be? And who are going to be the couple of teams that may get lucky one night and cause Golden State to lose? Or does Golden State go on a 20, 30-game win streak and say, okay, we're going to rest players, giving other teams the opportunity to maybe get a couple wins, feel good about themselves? I don't know the answer to your question, Great L. Bushman. Here is what I will say to you. If you ask me as an average fan, I'm saying it's bad for the NBA because we want to see the excitement. We want to see, on any given night, a surprise team have a buzzer beater. If I'm going in with the mentality of next season, 2018, 2019, no, I'm sorry, 2017, 2018, excuse me, if I'm already going in with the notion that the 2 teams that just played last night in the NBA Finals are going to be back, I have no reason to watch. I have no reason to get excited. I'm like, all right, October, November, NBA starts. I'll watch the first couple of games, and I'll be like, I'll see you in May. I'll see you in June. So, I'm just that fan of, I'm not going, why? Why would I watch? At least with football and with baseball and even hockey to some degree, there's some level of intrigue. I feel the level of intrigue with the NBA is just like, well, we know the Cavs are going to be there because it's LeBron. We know the Warriors are going to be there because they're the best team in the NBA. So let's just wait till May, and then we'll start talking about them.
I mean, Cleveland's going to have to David Griffin is going to have to be the most creative and smartest person to make some moves but, I mean –
LeBron's got some stuff already in the mix about what he wants to go into next year with.
And maybe talk to people about – I mean, look, Draymond said that after they lost in the finals last year, he was on the phone with KD in the parking lot. Like,
right.
Hey, man, so maybe, look, Marc Gasol for Memphis. Maybe, dangle Tristan Thompson, be like, I mean, he didn't do anything for you, and I'd rather have Marc Gasol, Andre Drummond with the Pistons. I mean, get an interior presence at least, somebody that can play some defense.
Right.
So Golden State's just not, walking to the basket every time they want. I mean, there's moves, but honestly, I mean, I don't know if any of them are really going to help them, but at least it'd make it maybe a little more intriguing.
If some of the Cavaliers would restructure their contracts to help bring in maybe another big name, so to speak, or maybe have somebody out there, if you want to dangle somebody. Like, I'm completely agreeing with you. I don't say get rid of Shumpert. I actually like him on the squad.
He does play defense.
J.R. Smith,
Get rid of Jefferson. You overpaid for him.
Richard Jefferson.
Get him out.
Okay.
Let him retire now. He can retire now.
Richard Jefferson can go. Tristan Thompson, you can dangle. There are some other members of that Cleveland bench that I'm like,
J.R. Smith can go.
See,
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. You know what?
See what you can get for him. I mean,
but I don't think Kevin Love going anywhere else is going to be as impactful, because he's going to be required once again to be the number one. And I don't know, after playing with LeBron and Kyrie, if he can go back to that, if he can go back to being the man. You know what I'm saying?
If Kevin Love is your number one, you ain't winning nothing.
Nope.
I mean, he needs to be where he is. He needs to be your number 3. And even then, I mean, he had one good game?
Right.
I mean,
but then that's my question. Where does he go where he can be the number 3? Because I'm telling you right now, there are teams out there that don't have a 1 and 2.
If I'm Cleveland, I just try and get rid of. I don't care where I try to see how much I can get for him. Like, if I can get Paul George, maybe, and ship him to Indiana, hey, best of luck, good luck.
Gotta go.
We got Paul George now at least, so you got LeBron, Kyrie, Paul George. That's a pretty decent 3.
Yeah.
You'd still have to make some more moves, but at least you're, heading in the right direction. I mean, they're going to be tough to beat. I mean, because this is only one season together.
Right.
I mean, they could actually get better next year, and that's
scary.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I do want to talk about the coaching carousel in the NBA, because, listen to me, I'm going to say this right now. Tyronn Lue needs to go. We'll talk about that and much more when we come back. You're listening to us. Hold on a level. We are here live at Cowork, Florida. 813-699-5353 is the number. We'll be right back. Wait till I get my money right. I had a dream. And welcome back to Hold On a Level. Your man Eric Wilson, joined by the great Al Bushman and Frank Nazay in the building. All right, gentlemen. So one question I want to ask you before we get to the man himself, LeBron James. I said it before we went to break. Tyronn Lue needs to go. I feel his coaching was not the greatest. I don't want to say he was inadequate, but I felt like pretty much he was outcoached by Steve Kerr and Mike Brown. So
one question I have to ask is, why are you sitting Kyrie in the first quarter?
I know.
Why?
I know. That right there was...
Even Kyrie was like, why are you sitting Kyrie?
Right. I and that's why I say to you, there needs to be a coaching change in Cleveland. I think that needs to be first and foremost before you go out and get the players. Because no matter who you bring in, they still have to respond, respect, and listen to Tyronn Lue. I don't feel like he is the man to get the job done.
All right, so who do you bring in?
That is the question that I've been kind of
Doc Rivers?
rolling. No, you don't bring Doc in. I'm sorry. Doc is not the answer.
Mike Brown coming back to Cleveland?
Well, they're still paying him.
And they'll still pay. They paid him to win.
Right. So, I mean, the possibility is there, but I'm saying no.
Tyronn Lue is LeBron's boy.
Yeah, that's his
I mean,
I understand that.
They ain't making that move unless LeBron signs off on it. Because if they get rid of him, LeBron will be like, "Yeah, see you later. I'm taking my talents to
L.A.
wherever." But I mean, he waited till Game 3 to start making adjustments. Basically, I mean, the adjustments he made were actually pretty decent.
Right.
So, but
you've been coaching this team for 2 years now. Okay. You 1 year you got him a ring. But you have to make the adjustments. The minute that they went out and got KD, Tyronn Lue should have started making adjustments on this team to make this team better. Well, and I feel like
that's David Griffin. I mean, that's the GM.
He should have went to David Griffin then and say, "Listen, look what they just did."
And I'm sure I can't imagine that he didn't. I mean, I'm sure LeBron did too. I mean, they said LeBron picks a lot of these guys because he has David Griffin's ear and he also has that leverage. Hey, I can walk. You don't put the guys around me that I want.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Frank. Like, that's his boy, and he was outcoached. He was outcoached because of what he had to coach with.
Yeah, but I still say that at the end of the day, if you're the man on the court and you're the man that the people are going to be looking at and talking to, and you have to, I mean, I'll take our job for example. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I love Jeff. but Jeff also gives us the guidance and directions we need to be successful. If you ain't doing your job, then I'm going to go somewhere else and get that necessary information. Now, he has always stuck by us, so I'm going to stick by him. I feel like just because, Tyronn Lue and LeBron are boys, that's one thing. But when it comes to getting that hardware, when it comes to getting that ring, you got to put personal feelings aside. It's about business. And unfortunately, job did not get done this year. All right? Last year was LeBron's time. But when Golden State goes out and gets the missing piece to make them now NBA world champions for the second time in 3 years, then I got to go back to Tyronn, to my boy, and be like, yo, how we fixing this? What do we need? And then we got to go to David Griffin, and we got to go to Dan Gilbert and be like, this is what we need. To be able to compete with them and bring you another ring, I need this.
I mean, look, Gilbert, he may not want to keep paying that luxury tax. I mean, at some point he may say, I'm tired of paying it. And
all right.
We need to blow this up. And LeBron, if you want to walk. We're going back to the drawing board. I mean, the problem, look, Golden State, it's not just that they got KD, which, yes, that they drafted really good.
Yep.
They hit Steph Curry, number 7. 6 players went ahead of him. Got Klay Thompson, drafted Draymond Green. They built that team 3 guys just through the draft. Yeah, a lot of teams build through the draft, but how many teams get lucky and draft Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and a Draymond Green? And then add the second best player in the world?
I know.
Listen,
I'm not disagreeing with you, but if we are already going to forecast and crystal ball and say that next year's NBA Finals is going to be the Cavs versus the Warriors, we already know what the Warriors are going to do. They're going to punch people in the mouth all the way to the final. So if you're LeBron, if you're Tyronn Lue, if you're David Griffin, if you're Kyrie Irving, if you're that organization, what changes do you need to make? And in my opinion, I feel Tyronn Lue should be one of those changes. You guys want to get people to bring him in and get rid of Shumpert or J.R. Smith or get rid of Tristan Thompson. How about fixing the coaching situation? Because you just said it. He got out-coached.
He did, but, look, none of those guys showed up and played. You didn't get anything. If J.R. Smith showed up, if Tristan Thompson gave you 15 and 10 boards, he got out-rebounded by Steph Curry.
Yes.
6'3". How tall is Tristan Thompson? And, oh, by the way, he wanted to get in David West's space. David West is a boxer. Now, he trains boxing. David West would have – that would have just been
UFC at the NBA Finals.
A beatdown of epic proportion. But J.R. Smith, what did you get out of him?
He had the hot hand sometimes. Though.
Yeah, but that's inconsistency, though.
No. I want to look at the finals.
You didn't get much out of Kevin Love either.
I know we didn't get much out of Kevin Love, but what I'm saying to you is I want to look at the finals. J.R. Smith, when he had the hot hand and they went to him, he was banging down threes from all points and then falling on his backside and getting and ones.
For like one game?
Yeah, I don't want a J.R. Smith that's only going to give me one game. I want that on a consistent night. That's why I say getting rid of Lue is it's a bad idea. You need to get a better core of guys. And I'm telling you, LeBron, they've got something in place already.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
They decided that last night.
I'm sure they do.
There had to have been a meeting of some sort. Look, if J.R. Smith showed up for 5 games, if Kevin Love showed up for 5 games, if Tristan Thompson showed up for 5 games, and you got all them guys, hey, this series is still going. I don't know that it's enough to win, but it's definitely not 4-1. If Kevin Love was giving you 25 and 17 rebounds in these games average, that's a pretty good, because Kyrie and LeBron showed up. They were scoring like 30 and 40 pretty much every game. And if you got if J.R. Smith gives you 15 to 20, Kyle Korver, did he play?
I think you may have got one game. But again, he's a bench guy, so what do you do with him? Because
get rid of him.
You want to get rid of Kyle Korver, too?
Yes, get rid of him, too.
You just getting rid of everybody. You get rid of J.R. Smith. You getting rid of Ramon. You said J.R. Smith.
The production you got out of your bench was horrendous.
It stunk.
It stunk.
Okay.
So I say blow it all up, get rid of those guys that you brought in and thought were going to make differences, and they didn't, and find that plan. LeBron's going to be able to – LeBron's a guy that can call up a couple guys and be like, look, I want you to come to Cleveland. I know Cleveland's not the best place to come to city-wise, but, hey, we want to win a championship.
We need you.
We need you.
Okay.
Just like how Draymond was calling KD after the last year's loss. I'm
So,
sure LeBron was
okay.
on the phone with somebody.
So
And do not say Melo because Melo can't.
no, I wasn't even going there. What I was going to say was we mentioned his name earlier. What if, and this is the if, what if you go out and get that little pit bull, number 0, for Oklahoma City? What if you go get him and you are able to bring him to Cleveland and you get Russell Westbrook?
Sam Presti's too smart for that.
I'm not saying, listen,
Yeah, and if you
money talks,
if you
though.
somehow pull off a trade like that, you still have to worry about who's on your bench.
I agree with you, but he gives LeBron a little bit of insight into, number one, because I know he watches the tape, but number one, he gets to see and say from Russell, okay, give me some weaknesses in Kevin's game. Because I'm telling you what, for the 5 games, I barely saw any weakness in Kevin Durant.
Westbrook plays defense, and
Yeah.
Kyrie doesn't. All Kyrie does, all he wants to do is, he's just like Melo. All he wants to do is score. You got to at least try to guard Steph. I mean, or at least make an effort like you care a little bit about defense. Kyrie he likes that James Harden kind of defense where it's just kind of like,
No, it's the Mike D'Antoni running gun system.
You're going to drive to the basket. Good luck. See you later.
All right.
I mean, it's not easy. I mean, look, they're going to have to be creative because, as Great Old Bushman said, cap space. They got a ton of people that they owe money to that doesn't just go away. They got to figure out how they're going to work that.
I think they lowered the cap down to 106. They're at 121 right now.
Okay.
So that's something they have to worry about.
You're paying guys that, probably aren't even still playing there.
Or coaching there.
Well, yeah, that's
So, all right. So, LeBron now, 8 NBA Finals, 7 in a row. His record is
3-5.
3 and 5.
Oh, we're about to have a caller, but then they hung
a
up.
caller. Where do we put him? Because, for everything that LeBron being the number 1 man in the NBA, he's only got 3 rings, been there 8 times.
I say this. He gets a really bad rap from a lot of the media and a lot of fans out there about, oh, this is all his fault. This is all his fault. It's not all his fault.
No, I agree.
Like, the
He
man
showed
had,
up.
how many triple-doubles did he have?
he played.
He
I
played.
think- I
I mean,
think he had 5.
He played his ass off.
I
So
think he had one every game of the
for
finals.
any analyst or any commentator out there said this is all his fault. No, it's not. It's not his fault. His team got outplayed. His coach got outcoached, and they had a better bench. This is not his fault.
Yeah.
I never saw any once of him not giving 110% at all.
I agree.
And it showed too. The 2 or 3 minutes he was off the court. I think it was game 2 or 3 when they were up by 4 and then they lost.
Golden State went like 10-0 when LeBron went
Yeah,
to the
they
bench.
went around. So you take him out off the court for 2 minutes. That shows that you need a better bench.
No, you're
and
right.
For him to say, and for anybody to say, "Oh, this is all his fault," you're dead wrong.
No, listen, I'm not giving LeBron a pass. But what I am saying to you is, since you're the man that has the ear of the people who are making these decisions, then you know what I'm going to say to you? I'm going to say you need to go back to those people and you need to say, okay, let's correct the mistakes that were made and let's get back to the championship. But this time, let's bring a ring.
All right. So if he's 3 and 5 now, do you think that's hurts his legacy? He's 3 and 5.
He's 3 and 5. I'm going to say no because I think LeBron's still going to play for at least another 3 to 4 years. If he can finish his career, okay? So let's say he plays 3 more years, that'd be 11. Let's say he gets 3 more, 6 and 11, that's over 50%. I can't see that. I mean, he would have 6 rings. And I think at the end of the day, we wouldn't be focused so much on how many he lost as the fact that he actually got the same number as Jordan.
So if he went over 500 with his record, we can.
With how the game's being played right now, the talent that's out there, and just people are continually conditioning themselves to be better and play this game, I personally would be all right with LeBron going 6 and 11 because of the cast of characters. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Golden State Warriors go back to the finals like we're all saying they're going to, and they lose, I'm gonna blow this place up. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, y'all were a super team for 1 year. got y'all's ring, and then y'all don't want to do nothing. They better come back with at least 2 to 3 more. They better. I don't know if it's going to happen because I expect LeBron to find a way to correct the mistakes that the Cavaliers have made. But being the team that the Golden State Warriors have, from Steph to Clay to Draymond to Sean Livingston to KD to Iguodala to the rookie McCaw, you know what? Y'all better get back to the finals. You don't have a choice in the matter. See, there are 15 other teams in the Western Conference who are vying for that spot to be in the NBA Finals and represent the Western Conference. The Golden State Warriors are right now the only team that they damn sure better get back there. Because if they don't, what's this? What? We saw what y'all are capable of doing. See, that's the thing now.
The only thing I could look, if somebody gets hurt, that changes the whole
Yes.
narrative. I mean, if
barring injury,
Steph
of
goes,
course.
KD, I mean that it changes. Look, I'll be honest. If one of those guys go down, they still at least make probably the Western Conference Finals. Maybe not the NBA Finals, but they're still. If they lose a guy, I mean, I think they want. I think the hunger will be there because I think they want. KD ain't trying to just get one. I don't think.
Right.
And Steph, that's his second, but I'm sure he wants more. I'm sure Clay wants more. I mean, it's what you
know. Draymond does.
Yeah, I mean, especially come Hall of Fame time, if your name's up there, be like, damn, got 3 rings. I mean, it does carry some weight.
No, you're absolutely right. All right, let's take another break. When we come back, we're going to kind of, segue off of the NBA a little bit. I know we got some other stuff to talk about, but, the finals just ended, so, of course, we're going to go there with it. But you're listening to us on our level, live at Cowork, Florida. Be right back. And welcome back to Whole Nother Level. This is your man Eric Wilson, joined by the great Al Bushman and Frank Mazzei in the house. Remember, we are on WRPR, Rat Pack Sports Radio. We're also on Raw Talk Online. As always, the replay is up on our website. And actually, we switched it up. We're just doing a little clips, just to give you a little taste of what Whole Nother Level is all about on the website, www.HNL3.com. All right, gentlemen, it would not be our show if we did not talk at least a little bit of football. We were talking about Jeremy Maclin getting released by the Chiefs. Come to find out that the great Al Bushman and Craig Cousin called it because Jeremy Maclin is now with the Baltimore Ravens. So kudos to the great Al Bushman. How do you feel about this?
I like this. It's a good pickup for Baltimore. This gives them another deep threat. He was really underutilized in Kansas City, and now he has a good quarterback in Joe Flacco that can fling it to him. So it's a good pickup, man. Good signing.
Will he be the number one, Frank? What do you think? Yeah,
yeah. I mean, he slides in ahead of Perryman right away, and with them releasing Dennis Pitta, I mean, they need somebody that can stretch the field.
Okay,
good pickup for them.
Yeah. Good, awesome. All right, so let me ask you this question. I want to switch to something quite interesting. Great Al Bushman, you had brought it to us. There's a kicker at University of Central Florida, UCF. He was given an ultimatum by the NCAA. Either YouTube videos or college football. How do we feel about this? The NCAA kind of stepping in and kind of issuing this ultimatum to this young man. And he's a kicker nonetheless.
I think you butt out if you're the NCAA.
Right.
Because these are college kids. Don't make any money off of football whatsoever. They don't get residuals from jersey sales or hats and when EA does, well, they don't put the names on jerseys anymore for EA college football anymore, but there's so many people out there, so many college kids that are doing YouTube videos right now and making tons and tons of money. You need to butt out. I say this is wrong for the NCAA to do this and to actually bring him in for an ultimatum. It's either college football or YouTube videos where you're actually making money to pay your college tuition and put food on your table at home. I think they need to butt out. It's not fair.
Okay.
Because everybody else is doing it. Why? Just because he's a pro? Just because he's an athlete, you're punishing him?
Is there a guideline or a bylaw or something when you play college football that you are not allowed to? I'm sure there are rules and regulations that you have to abide by, but do you think the NCAA is going to create an addendum now to include YouTube videos?
This is why nobody likes you. for stuff just like this. This is why nobody likes the NCAA, because you do stuff that's so ridiculous. And I'm waiting for the day when all the college presidents get together and say, you know what, bye. We no longer recognize your authority. We're getting rid of it. And they could, technically, that could happen. If they all got on board, be like, your rules are stupid. You're inconsistent. I mean, there's guys that played pro football and went back to school to finish their degrees. And they said that, like, one of them, he went to Stanford, and he said that there was kids that were freshmen, sophomores that had their own companies, like that were millionaires as like a sophomore and just making money. So this is.
I mean, how do you think Shaq made his $1 million? I mean, shit, he was making money in college.
Yeah.
It's beyond ridiculous. It's just
his when they brought him in for the this is what he said was it was determined that he was profiting off of his own likeness. He was making money off of himself.
Oh,
how could he?
How else?
How could he?
Let's lock him up.
I mean, no.
So
you're making money off of you.
Off of you. I mean, honestly,
call the cops.
He also, and this is now, of course, this is from his video. They said he was violating NCAA rules for crafting videos that make it obvious that I'm a student athlete. So what?
Isn't that called a demo reel?
Yeah.
For scouts? I mean, I'm sorry, but if I'm going to make money, why would I not want to make money off of me? So, I mean, how is that any different than creating an athlete demo reel to be able to send to potential NFL teams and scouts and say, here's some clips from games that I was in. Here's what I was able to do. I kicked a 60-yarder with the game on the line. I was able to put it within 5 yards of the end zone.
Social media. I mean, everybody. I mean, would you rather he do porn?
So his video is basically his day-to-day life as a UCF athlete. So he's not going out and getting crazy and not doing drugs or drinking and doing stupid stuff that YouTube people usually do.
And he's a kicker.
And he's a kicker. And he's got 41 videos this past year, piling up 54,000 subscribers and 2 million views. That's pretty good for a kicker.
For a kicker.
What? Yeah, jeez.
He's a kicker.
He's a kicker.
I I applaud him for getting that many and being a kicker.
Listen. That I just don't. Yeah, Frank, you hit the nail on the head. The presidents of the universities, of these colleges, need to all come together and say, okay, NCAA, your time is up. It's time to move on. Because this kid is promoting himself. He's not promoting terrorism. He's not promoting domestic violence. He's not promoting abusive relationships. He's promoting himself and saying, look at me. And doing it in such a way that it's both professional and tasteful. Who's he hurting? UCF? I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't know UCF was that broke that they had to bring somebody in and set an example. They had this for a kicker? Come on.
Got a terrible football team.
Is he going into strip clubs in his day-to-day life? Like, hey, here I am at the Cheetah Club.
Exactly.
I mean,
I don't know if you want to go in there though.
Well, yeah.
Not in Sarasota. Well, this is quoted from his videos. It's really tough. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making money illegally. I'm not selling dope. I'm not kidnapping people or robbing people. I'm not selling my autographs for money. I'm not sitting here getting Nike checks and Nike deals all over the sponsors. I'm literally filming stuff. I'm sitting here editing things on my computer for hours and developing my own brand. I put the work in, and I'm not allowed to get any benefit from the work. Basically, I'm not allowed to make any money off my YouTube videos.
I agree with everything you just said.
So my question is, to UCF, if he wasn't an athlete, would you give a damn?
They wouldn't.
No.
They
if
wouldn't
he was
at
an
all.
artist,
because there's so many,
or if he was an accountant.
Nope. There's so many college kids that makes YouTube videos every single day and do way worse stuff than what he's doing.
Yep.
It's just because he's an
tons.
athlete. And making more money probably he is.
And running their own business.
That's
ridiculous.
That's why the NCAA is a joke.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Okay, let's move on.
It's a joke.
It is.
It's a joke.
Baseball talk. Listen, first and foremost, shout out to the entire Rays organization, both to Carly and to Duke and everybody up there, man. This past weekend, Whole Nother Level was just in the building for the A's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I mean,
and from what we understand, we kind of made a mark in the press box on Sunday.
Yes, we did, and it had nothing to do with the Great L. Bushman or myself.
Oh,
I will sum it up for you in 3 simple words. Frank, you ready?
Yep.
Pretty in pink.
That sounds about right.
That's exactly what happened.
I asked Natasha, I was like, oh, so how'd it go? She goes, oh, it went well, and, I made some friends up there, and in my back of my mind, I'm sure, like, Alex Corddry is like, who the hell is this bitch in the press box?
Oh, yeah. Friday. You remember the girl from Friday?
Yep.
Who the hell is that bitch? Yeah. That's what happened. Natasha came up in there on Sunday holding it down for a whole nother level. I'm sure she got a lot of looks.
I was really surprised that we don't have an extra credential now. We
I'm
can go in the
telling
locker
you.
room now, and
Telling you.
I think I'm asking the wrong person. I need to ask Dukes.
Yeah.
I need to ask.
I think
like,
so.
Come on, bro.
I think so.
You know what we bring in here.
But
come on.
We had such a great experience. I was there Friday when the 13-4 victory happened. And I'll be honest with you, I felt a little jealous because I was like, man, this is the Great Hale Bushman's team. He needs to be sitting here enjoying this right now. I don't think you would have been able to contain yourself, though, because 3 runs in the first, 3 in the fourth, 5 in the fifth. I mean, they was just knocking them out the park left and right.
Well, see, remember, I was there for game 1 of the doubleheader, and I was there for the walk-off.
You were.
So
you were.
Seeing a walk-off is way better than kind of seeing the 13. Now, 13-4 is really nice.
But you being the fan.
I did want to. I had to catch myself.
Because
it was in the 9th inning, and, I think everything's wrapped up. Alex Colomé's on the mound. We're good to go.
Right.
Got a 1-run lead. No, they tied up. So I went. I kind of did the whole. And I was like looking around. I think Dukes is going to look at me. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. But no, and I was okay. But yeah, seeing the walk off was great. We went afterwards and tried to watch the second game, and then them dropping it. But that's a long day of baseball.
It is, and only a 45-minute break in between.
That's a a doubleheader on a Saturday night. That's a marathon of baseball, and then they come back to do it the next day.
But they did it. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Yeah, against the Athletics. Listen, I feel bad for Triggs. My heart, Frank, Friday night.
I don't feel bad for him whatsoever.
I know you don't, but because I didn't have a horse in the race, I really didn't. I was just like, this dude in 2 innings threw 58 pitches. Alex Cobb threw 29 in 2 innings. I'm like, Triggs was just – and like I said on Saturday when we were at Fergs, if he spent less time trying to catch Malik Smith out at first base, he must have thrown to first at least 4 or 5 times trying to get him out. I'm like, just let it go.
Now, wasn't you that asked me about him because KK's out? Didn't you ask me about Malik Smith and if we were going to be – dude, I'm telling you, man.
I did.
This kid is good.
I did.
This kid reminds me of like Carl Crawford, B.J. Upton, but without the attitude problem, and I want a lot of money to go to the Red Sox.
Okay.
I mean, he's got the speed. He's found his power back when they sent him down to the minors, so he's a good replacement for Kevin Kiermaier. Now, Kevin Kiermaier wasn't lighting it up, hitting-wise, but defense he's going to be missed. But I like – this kid's got so much speed, and I think he had like 8 stolen bases throughout the series over the weekend.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Good replacement.
No, listen, I just wanted to ask because then Andres is now out for 2 months.
Yep.
He's out. So they're both not coming back till August. I just wanted to make sure because, we're going to be covering some more of these games. I just don't want the momentum that the Rays have started to develop.
Well, they promoted Faria again, who had a good start last week.
Okay.
So he's going up tonight tomorrow night against Toronto.
All right.
This kid that really impressed me his first start. He went 6 innings. He had a good start. So we'll see how. Toronto's no slouch. Their offense is pretty good now since Donaldson's back. So we'll see how he fares in the lineup. So, and plus if he fails, there's plenty of other guys they can bring up. So
let's see. Did they send your boy Stanek back down?
Stanek is back down. Yeah.
He's back down.
Yeah, they bring up Jumbo the Gumbo back up. Jumbo Diaz is back up again. His fatigue is no longer, and I put that in quotations. Fatigue is no longer there. So
okay,
we'll see. They've been playing pretty good baseball so far. I think they're 3 games over 500.
Yeah. Now listen, we're back up there, not this weekend, but we're back up there next weekend.
We will be there on Wednesday.
Yes, we will.
To actually watch the game.
21st.
To watch the game.
Natasha
will be in the press box.
Natasha will be in the press box, but the Great Al Bushman, myself, and the rest of the Team Heart crew is actually going to be up at the Trop as fans.
But we'll be there that weekend for the Baltimore series.
Yes, we will. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to see them compete in this division, and I know right now they are. And I hate when injuries happen to a team, especially a team that starts to gain that momentum because it's like it fizzles. And that's what I don't want. So,
well, I see, I'd rather have injuries now than later this season.
No, I agree.
Because come August, you get Andres back, you
right.
get Kiermaier back.
Right.
And then, depending on where they're at in the standings, lineups get to increase too. So you can keep Malik Smith in there. You can keep those guys that you brought up before.
Okay. All right.
Just get them out of the way now. You'll be okay.
No, listen. I would rather, like you said, I'd rather it now as opposed to later. The All-Star game, I didn't even realize this until just the other day when you told me. The All-Star game's down in Miami. And I was like, oh, home run derby. Might have to go check that out.
Now,
Not sure yet.
Speaking of home runs, I want to ask you guys.
Okay.
Now, one of the big stories over the weekend was Aaron Judge's 496-foot home run. For some reason, ESPN started to do this stupid stat for how fast the baseball comes off a bat. I think one of the most useless stats in the world.
Probably.
And they said it was the fastest one. Oh, it's 121 miles an hour. It was. Let me ask you guys a question. 496 feet. We've seen home runs way further than that. I don't know why they're making such a big deal about Aaron Judge. Now, I think me and Dwayne had a little bit of a Twitter feud going on last night where he was like, oh, well, it's because he's a rookie. He's putting up so much numbers. I'm like, yeah, but we've seen other guys hit home runs further than that. So, and I told Dwayne, I was like, quit drinking the Kool-Aid, man. So the only Kool-Aid I'm drinking is the pinstripes.
But listen, he is a Yankees fan, so you have to at least give him his
All right,
credit.
so do you think they should have made such a big deal about that home run? And do you agree with me that having
it's the Yankees, so they're gonna make a big deal?
And do you agree with me that having how fast a ball comes off a bat is one of the most useless stats in the world? Thank you, Frank.
Okay, but here's the thing.
ESPN makes big deals about everything that's not really a big deal. I mean, do I think the kid can play?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, it's really, it's amazing. I mean, the next Joe Pepitone. Right?
Don't get me wrong. This kid has brought new life into the Yankees.
Yes.
Yeah.
What team?
And again, it's the Yankees,
Yeah.
so they're going to embellish. It's because it's the Yankees. If this kid was on the Red Sox, they'd do the same thing. If he was on the current Chicago Cubs team, they'd do the same thing. Why? Because those are the hot teams, and that's what people want to hear about.
And ESPN has gone so much down the tubes, they've become the E! Entertainment News Network and TMZ.
So that's what they have to do. They have to rely on something to keep the interest. And because it is an historic franchise team, if this kid was in the Milwaukee Brewers doing it, he'd get a blip in the SportsCenter top 10, and that's about the extent of it. But because he plays for the Yankees, it is the post-Derek Jeter era, and now this guy is coming in.
They need a face.
They need a face. The identity that I spoke of, we all spoke of.
So you testing for PEDs?
Give them a couple more home runs, and then I'm sure and guess what? You know what you just did? You just gave ESPN their next story.
If you're 6'7" and 6'7" and 256 pounds.
Listen, after the All-Star
don't
break,
play baseball, play football. You can be a tight end somewhere.
After the All-Star break, if he's continually hitting, if he wins the home run derby, I guarantee you somebody gonna drop a dime, and that story's gonna come out. So you know what, folks? You heard it here, June 13th, 2017. You heard it here first on Whole Nother Level. When the story gets dropped about Judd possibly doing PEDs, the Great Al Bushman was the first one to bring it to your attention.
I say if I was Brian Cashman and Joe Girardi, I'd say don't compete in the home run derby.
You know he's going to.
But I would say don't do it.
It's going to happen.
You could get injured, and then you could screw up their whole season.
Yeah, well, screw up the whole season then.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine with it. That's okay with me. I have no problem.
I'm just saying. But you know he's going. There's already talk of he has to be the guy to go out there. He's going to be the odds-on favorite. Everybody wants to see him just as, I know you don't like him, but I'm going to do it. You know what's going to happen. Chris Berman, because he's not doing it this year, is he?
God.
No.
Well, I can't really hate the guy anymore. He lost his wife not too long ago. I can't really say bad stuff about it.
But what I'm saying is it's going to be one of those
No, I don't think he's doing it this year, so that's
right.
a good thing.
So
I will give Aaron Judge some props, though. He's got style because there was a picture of Matt Holliday the other day wearing like a Sandlot T-shirt with the great Hambino on it.
Oh, yeah.
Pointing.
Yeah.
I want one of those shirts.
And he's going to do it. Guaranteed. If he's in the home run derby, there's going to be a moment where he's going to do it. He's going to come out and have that moment, and he's going to point, and it's going to become the new thing.
If he destroys that god-awful thing in center field, I hope he does. I hope they have one of the special balls. Okay, remember how on MTV used to do the softball thing?
Yes.
With the special golden balls?
Uh-huh.
If they have like one that has like maybe some TNT on it, and like somebody hits it and just destroys that monstrosity in center field, I'll be happy with that. I will watch the home run derby because of that. I normally don't because it's boring.
Yes, I know.
And Chris Berman is always doing back.
Yeah, I know. But it's one of those things where, listen, that's all I used to watch. I wouldn't watch anything else on baseball unless.
Rock and Jock needs to come back to empty.
I agree.
That was awesome.
I miss those days. I miss the NBA Rock and Jock. I miss the MLB Rock and Jock. I miss all of them. Those were fun because it was celebrities and some talent, some athletes, and it was such a great experience. Like, I'm glad the Pro Bowl, at least this year, they tried to do more family-oriented stuff. And, they just made the...
Oh, they did extend the contract for that. It is going to be in Orlando for the next few years.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
It's not going back to Hawaii anytime soon.
Good.
Yeah.
So then I think we're going to take a couple days off and go.
I'll go.
I want to go. I want to go there for either the Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, and then, of course, the Pro Bowl game. But stop making it so doggone late. 8 o'clock? Really? 7 to 8 o'clock at night? That's just everybody got to go to work the next day. I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying.
I know. But they wanted to make it, fan-friendly and everything and more family-oriented. So I understand that. But if you're going to do it, 4 or 5 o'clock's not bad on a Sunday. You get. I think personally, unless
you do all your skills challenges done on Saturday, you have it at 1 o'clock on a Sunday.
I won't say 1 o'clock. I would say 4.
All right, right before prime time?
Right before prime time.
Okay.
Because then you have something to go into as, this is what happened, as opposed to doing prime time. 4 o'clock, it's the game of the week. There's no other football on. You got plenty of time. People are out of church. People are getting ready. You can watch it. And then I think the ratings would go up. Because last year I didn't watch it, and I was in Orlando. And I was like, I'm not sticking around for this. Forget it. It's not going to happen. So, all right. Well, we are out of here. We're back in studio Saturday, right?
Yep, 12 to 1.
12 to 1. You can catch us here, Speaker.com, WRPR, Rat Pack Sports.
Pack Radio Sports.
Yes, Rat Pack Radio Sports. That's just too many words for me.
Just say WRPR.
That's what I said.
That's what Keith wants.
Fine. WRPR.
There you go.
Also, Raw Talk Online, Speaker.com. And, of course, as always, clips from the show are going to be up on the website, www.hnl3.com. So, Frank Mazzei, any final thoughts before we get out of here, my brother? Anything?
No, I'm good, man.
You good? Great L. Bushman?
Yes, Dum Dum of the Week goes to LeBron, actually, for saying he never played for a superstar team or a super team.
Well, you're a superstar, so go get you a super team.
Yeah. Well, he said he never played for a super team, so.
Well, see, and I disagree with that. Because when you play with D. Wade and Chris Bosh and you had Ray Allen.
It's not a super team?
That was a super team.
Well, he said he didn't play for a super team.
That's what I'm saying. I disagree.
Okay.
He did. In my opinion, I think he did.
So he's a Dum Dum of the Week.
Dum Dum of the Week by the great L. Bushman, ladies and gentlemen. This is your man, Eric Wilson. Until Saturday, remember, 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be back in the building. This is Whole Nother Level.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.